Hello, welcome back. Before we go any further, let me point out something that I just learned, because I'm sure a lot of people are going to be wondering what the fuck I've been talking about for a while. So, early on, I was kind of concerned about attacking into these sacred units, because they got Blood Vengeance, especially Jomon, because he had a ton of sacreds with Blood Bless. But I just learned that apparently if you have a unit with Trample, like an elephant, Trample doesn't trigger Blood Vengeance. So I could have just thrown my 16 protection elephants at him with impunity. But I didn't realise that. So I guess being really nervous about Jomon in the really early game was fucking stupid, wasn't it? I could have just been defending against him from like turn 5 or whatever. But I didn't realise that. So that's the thing I now know. So you don't need to point that out to me. Instead I moved all of my forces over to defend against Patala fucking uselessly. But now I know, so there we go. Okay. So now this turn. Research and invocation completed. So that is we now have Stellar Cascades that we can now explicitly cast. Hooray. 25 fatigue damage in a AoE 5. Now we just need the conjuration to go with it. So on this turn, I've put pretty much every caster who can research is now researching, which gets us up to the 353, which means some people who were originally sight searching, like my pretender, is now researching. Because I want to get Conjuration 4 in 2 turns. And that should be quite doable, because we are recruiting a lot of mage power each turn, but just to be safe, I like everyone who can research is researching, and my sight searches are just coming straight back home to research next turn. And some mages who are building roads are now on research duty as well. So we're up to 353 a turn. That should be about 400 next turn, and that'll be all we need, because the hit level for it requires 750 cumulative research. So next turn we should have Light of the Northern Star. So in 2 turns we can start Cascade spamming, and that's been my plan. So there we go. Sight, Blind Amazement, found a site in Forest of Springs. You can see he is now researching. This site is Lilium Vale, and it's our first death site, bringing our death gem income up to 1 per turn. But better than nothing, right? Battles. So Gath, as you can see, moved on to attacking man, and so has Jomon and Patala. It looks like the orders have been given, and it is let's all turn on man. So over here we can see Scythia is Gath attacking man in this province, and he also attacked them in Peskin with some mercs, but they were repelled. So in Scythia we have this. It was the group of mostly Amazons, 40 Amazons, as you can see. Not too threatening, but they managed to defeat the province defense. And Peskin was just these weird militia group, the Horned Serpent leading militias. Didn't go very well. So that was these 2 provinces here. So Gath took 1. Takes him further away from us. That's quite nice. But failed to take the other one. Also a battle in Mir, which is over here. This was Patala attacking into man with some Naga warriors. Didn't go very well for him. As you can see, man had 109 longbows sitting here. So they repel that quite easily. So that's over here. So man defended 2 provinces successfully, but lost this one. But also, Jomon decided to turn his attention towards man as well, which means he's leaving Arco's cap unmolested. But as you can see, because this is the bulk of his forces, this is like all of his sacreds. So they're now moving into man's territory, which is rough, but it does mean that Arco could now take Halimar, I guess, with impunity. So that's interesting. And Battle in the Wood of Many Paths, over here. This was our other Arco attacking into Jomon's elephants, unfortunately. So that did not go very well. But Arco does still have this province, I didn't realise that. He's got this one little holdout province over here in the swamps. So that's the state of my allies currently. We have not really contributed much to the defense so far, but you know, we're getting there. Worldwide event, the stars are right for alterations. We've known this for a while. And we cured 1 affliction. Okay. So, what are we doing this turn? let's start over here. The arrow you can see is just a commander. Just moving. I want to have a commander in all these forts, just in case we need to roll out troops or just lead some troops. Meanwhile, as I said, everyone who can research is currently on research duty. Eventually, I'm going to move another priestess into Forest of Falling Leaves. There is one in this province. You ready to see? She'll come here, and she'll just search this site every turn. Because if you remember, this is the one with the story event. I don't know what it wants to trigger it. It should be perhaps investigated by a mage. I mean, we've searched this province for sites, and that didn't trigger anything. We are researching in this province, and that's not triggering anything. So I guess we'll just have to send a nature mage here to either research or explore the site and see if that progresses the story. I could look up how you advance the story, but where's the fun in that? Let's try and figure it out. I assume it'll just be a nature mage doing something in the province, though. Or it might just be time-based. Maybe it might just have people research here, and it'll unlock or something. I don't know. But we'll plan on doing that. Our elephants are moving into Norville. That's these guys. And the 2 priestesses. I could have those guys research, but it's only 9. And I do want some priestesses near the front lines eventually as well, so they're just moving into Norville. The plan for those elephants is that they are going to go from Norville to Snake Swamps and then to my cap. That's only 3 turns. It looks longer than through the middle, but it's actually not. Norville, Snake Swamps, Arco in 3 turns. And then the commander that I've recruited here is going to Arco. He's going to pick up these Phalangoites plus these elephants and attack into White Waste. And then they'll join up with those other elephants, so we'll have like 8 elephants plus like, I don't know, 15 Phalangoites or something. And that will attack into Behemoth's Rest. And then hopefully that will recover these 2 provinces, because they had sites in them, so we want them back. That elephant army can then move up and over here and head into Gath territory. But for now, we're just moving the elephants over towards these 2 provinces. Other movements are just, again, there's a commander moving, so I've got a commander in every fort. Everyone else is just researching. This priest's still building roads. I can't believe roads take 6 months to build. That's so fucking shitty. What else we got? The site searches, as you can see, are moving back to White Forest so that they can research next turn. That's okay. To be honest, it's better to have them in White Forest anyway, because searching forests and swamps will be better than searching a plain anyway, so it's not a big deal. But they'll be able to research next turn. Over here is where we're finally invading Gath. I know we've been kind of not very proactive about this, but we're moving into Wesh with the mages, quite a lot of mages as you can see, and we're moving into Benafi with the troops. So we'll take those provinces next turn. The turn after that we'll merge everything in Benafi, and then the turn after that we'll, well, by this point Agonor will have probably fallen to Gath, so I guess we'll be sieging it to take it back. That's the plan. That's 3 turns, and of course in 3 turns we should also have Light of the Northern Star, so we should be able to just spam Stellar Cascades at anything that Gath can really throw at us. I can't imagine he's got much research. He certainly won't have many mages around here. So that should be fine. We still have this passageway completely open and undefended, but it's just annoying more than anything. But we'll have the elephants coming back around, of course, so that'll help. And that's it for major movements. I don't think there's anything else to say. I've got scouts still moving around. Recruitment of troops is kind of on hold because the elephants here are so expensive. But yep, that's everything. So 3 turns and we should be sieging Agonor. And then from there, I'm not sure what I'll do. I'll see how the war with Jomon develops. But it's tempting just to go straight towards Gath's cap then and just sit on it. Because what's he going to do? Probably nothing, right? I mean, he's only 3 provinces away from Agonor. We've got quite a decent... I mean, the forest here is annoying, but other than that, we've got quite decent territory. Could even do the same to Jomon. We could just roll straight towards Jomon. Depends how effective this Stellar Cascade spam is. I'm expecting it to be quite effective against a large army of blessed troops, but I guess it remains to be seen. Alright, that's everything. 9 commanders, let's check. It's probably just going to be scouts, but commander here, that's fine. Commander. Scout in the cap, sure. That guy can stay there, yep. We've got scouts in all these provinces. Yeah, that'll do. Alright. So that was turn 21. This has been a slow game, I know. But at least things are happening now, right? Nah, I don't know. Tune in next time, and I'll see you then. Hello and welcome back. Research. 3 levels of conj in one go. Pretty nice. This doesn't really give us anything interesting. Tangle Vines, I guess, is useful. Or priestesses can cast that. Also gives us summon earth power, I believe. Yep. So this is the earth magic bonus plus reinvigoration buff. But you need earth 2 to cast that. Lets us summon some ogres. We can do that with our earth 1 mages and some scorpion beasts. Can do that with our fire earth mages. All this stuff is kind of useless though, I think. Yeah, but the target really is still Light of the Northern Star. We'll have that very soon. As you can see, it only needs 377 more research, and we are on 390 per turn. So we should have that next turn. Gather around the good stuff. The Earth Serpent has claimed the Throne of Life. This is Pythium's god. So we'll take a look at the throne. First throne claim this game, Throne of Life. Very nice throne. Spreads Dom 2, Dominion gets growth +1, and produces 3 nature gems per turn. That is very nice. That's the throne that is... I'm sure we could see it. I guess it's this one, right? Because Pythium just took that province last turn. Maybe? I don't know. Well, no, it says it was claimed by the Earth Serpent, didn't it? Yeah. So we'd be able to see the Earth Serpent there, surely. So maybe it's this throne. Or... well, I'm not sure, actually. But it was claimed. Lots of battles. Okay. Patala attacked Man over here. Lost a little squad of units. Lost 3 war elephants as well, so that's quite nice. To just province defense. So there's 19 province defense in this province. Apparently that's enough to stave off 4 elephants. Pretty nice. Battle in Carrion Mire. It's over here. This was the province, if you remember that other Arco had like a random province still over here, this swamp. And looks like Pythium took it. So... I don't know, we can only hope that Pythium starts rolling in towards Jomon's territory now. That would be very, very, very nice if he did that. Battle in Peskin, over here. This was Gath's little squad of Amazons, taking that from Man. Not much you can do about that. Man is having to defend on multiple fronts now. It's a bit rough for him. Battle in Halimar, lots of battles. This was other Arco finally breaking out of his cap, because there's no units around here, so he can now roll out with quite a large little army now. 6 elephants, 29 Cadis's, or Cardis's, and 25 Peltests. That's decent enough, you can start capping these provinces back with that. No one can actually intercept him around here. Oh, well, I guess this squad can. You could get Farronshire back, though. Quite safely. Then there were our battles. So, we rolled out our stacks in this area. They were not defended. Binafi was the troops. And as you can see, we lost a couple of units, but nothing major. We lost our 2 large spiders, oh dear. And our 2 Phalangoites and 2 Hibaspists. And in Wesh, we had our spellcasters. I'll watch this battle just so that we can see what our sorceresses are like in combat. Because you remember, they are just set up to just spam Phantasmal Warriors, and they do it quite well. So Phantasmal Warriors are, they only have 1 hit point and no protection, but they are ethereal. So they're very hard to hit without a magical weapon. And they themselves have a magic weapon, which is kind of interesting. Doesn't mean that it's hard to hit MR units with a high magic resistance, but these guys are only 12. They're not really there to do damage though, they are just there to act as a sort of screen. And you can see we get a nice little pile of Phantasmal Warriors. So they do their job. We can like pump out a constant stream of them. Yep. So it's no horde of skeletons, but it'll do. Of course, what we really want to do is have them casting stellar cascades, but that needs one more turn of research. So. And finally, a battle in Agonal. This was other Arco trying to break out of the fort, unsuccessfully. I haven't actually watched this fight, so let's see what he did. So that's what Gath is sieging with. And these are all sacred, these guys. And the giants are sacred as well. And we see a couple of casters. Fire, Astral Blood. I can't imagine these guys do much at this point in the game with that level of research. But we'll see. Blessings and Fireballs. And Paralyze. Yeah, so other Arco didn't really have a hope of breaking that siege, but he did take down 2 Slingers and 2 Zealots. So there's that, you know. Finally, an unexpected event has occurred in Silvermark, my scout province. A group of free thinkers has been banned. 810 people left. Worldwide events, alteration is still cheaper. Throne of Life means that all units in the world have gotten younger. That's quite nice, I suppose. We lost our scout in Gath, and 1 affliction was cured. Okay, so state of the world now. You can see man is still holding on, and other Arco is starting to break out. And we've reclaimed these 2 provinces, which were quite important provinces, because this one is 102 income, this one's 114 income. So that's a 210 gold swing back to us from away from Gath. Important thing to note is that unfortunately this game was frozen for a couple of days because man couldn't take his turns, and in fact man's player has had to leave the game. So he found a sub named Full of Sound. So man is now being played by Full of Sound, which is, you know, it's always rough when you sub into a game, but hopefully he'll pick up where man left off. Our team so far has had pretty much no coordination whatsoever, so I'm fairly certain that this change in ownership will not affect our strategy in any way at all, in fact. But there we go. So man now has a new player. Okay, so what are we doing? Well, first things first, Patala just still has this 210 unit stack next to my fort. I assume he's going to siege my fort in a second because he can see that there's no units in it, so it's kind of easy for him to take it at this point. Which isn't good for us. So, let's move my pretender out of that fort, actually. That means I've got to put these guys back on research. I'll talk about that in a second. So let's move my pretender out of that province. Because, yeah, I think it's going to get sieged soon. And I cannot defend it. I've got a couple of units here, like literally a couple. That's it. And some mages. But at the next level of research, we will be able to have one of our astral mages will be able to cast Power of the Spheres to boost to astral level 2, and then use a pearl to cast. Wait, that's not going to work, is it? Because it requires 2 pearls. Do we have a natural astral 2 caster? No. Yes. Okay, so we have 1 natural astral 2 caster. Okay, so we would be able to cast Power of the Spheres followed by Light of the Northern Star. And then all of these mystics will be able to cast Stellar Cascades. So we would be able to mount some kind of mage defense. We just don't have any troops, so I'm not sure if that's actually worth anything. Maybe it would be better to evacuate all of these mages and just sack this province. Now let's leave them in there. Let's leave them in there. We'll I don't know what we'll do exactly, but we'll think of something. Conjuration. We've got Earth. We could summon Earth Elementals as well. We'll do so, I don't know. We'll if he sieges us, we'll figure out what we're gonna do. But for now, I don't think we can defend this fort. At the moment, at the minimum, I'll just move my Pretender out of there. And that'll be fine. All the mages in this province are moving into Forest of Springs to help defend. Maybe that's also a mistake, I don't know. I don't know, this is awkward. Of course, because Patala is now free to attack this fort, because Man is going to have to move his units backwards to deal with Jomon and Gath, so I get the feeling their team is a lot better coordinated than ours, so, but yeah, there's some shit going on over here, but oh well. Down here, I'm finally moving out with this little group of elephants to take back White Waste, get back these 2 sites. I think that'll be enough to deal with villains. The elephants that I had over here, they were originally going to move over to Arco and help. I think they'll be more useful in Benefi next turn. And then I think I'll move them to Swamp Passage. That's these guys. So these elephants will eventually end up in Swamp Passage and help defend this province. Because I figure if Gath starts moving into Dead Forest, he's got a straight shot to Swamp Passage. So I'll need some troops here to be able to mount a sort of patrol defense. So that's what these elephants will be for, at some point in the next turn or two. But for now they're moving into Benefi. All the mages in Wesh and the troops already in Benefi are staying in Benefi, which makes our army look like this. Now this is kind of awkward, because next turn I will have Light of the Northern Star, but I can't script it yet, which is a shame, because I would like to have the sort of setup ready that we cast Light of the Northern Star and then spam Stellar Cascades, but I can't do that. So this is like the most awkward turn, because Gath could move all these troops off Aganor, and all these troops off Peskin, and even these guys here, why not, and attack Benefi. And that would be a rough battle, because there's a lot of, to remind ourselves, there's a lot of Sacreds in Aganor. There's 50 of these guys, and 24 of the Sacred Giants. You know, in addition to the 50 Amazons in Peshin. So if he moves everything into Benefi to attack me, I don't actually know if I'll win. So the temptation was to actually move into consolidate my forces in Wesh to wait a turn, but I thought I'd take the risk and stick everything in Benefi. We're just set up to spam Phantasmal Warriors because that's all we can do, really. I don't know how effective that will be. You can see how I've got my units set up. We've got lines of melee troops in the front, with 2 side groups of melee troops as well, including the elephants. And then the 6 groups you can see at the back are all archers. You can see the sorceresses up the middle, and then the 2 Sibyls just behind them. I've given the Sibyls 3 pearls each. So, and their first 2 turns are just set to cast. So if, and I don't know if they will do this, but if they can cast Light of the Northern Star unscripted, they'll do that. And then hopefully when my sorceresses go off script, they'll start spamming Stellar Cascades. I don't know if that is something they will do though. But just in case it is, each Sibyl now has 3 pearls. But this is like the most tenuous turn so far, I think, because I think if they move into Benefi, they might actually beat me. So it's an extra little boost. I've stuck the province defense in this province up to 30. Just to remind ourselves, I stuck the province defense in this province up to 35 a few turns ago, and now this one's 30, which represents, what, like 1,000 gold between these 2 provinces? Huge waste, but what else can I do? Like, I need all the troops I can manage in Benefi just in case I get attacked. So that's why I've done it, unfortunately. But yeah, this feels a bit precarious. But as long as we can last one more turn, next turn we can explicitly script Light of the Northern Star and Stellar Cascades. I think that will have a much better success rate against these guys. But since I've never actually spammed Stellar Cascades, or Phantasmal Warrior, I actually have no idea what will be more effective. But we'll see how it goes. Any other movements are just moving commanders around. I'm moving a commander from Swamp Waste to Azimar to pick up these guys. And that's all. And I think the only thing that's happening now is just people are researching. So that's the end of the turn. Kind of awkward. I think we're going to lose Forest of Springs very soon. And hopefully we survive in Benefi. But after we survive in Benefi, we can start deciding where we want to go. We can start try and rescue Aganor. We can move towards Gath. We could move straight towards Jomon. We can do a lot of things with this army, I think. I think it's quite threatening. Looks quite threatening. A lot of the troops are garbage, but there's a lot of them, so we'll see how it goes. Alright, I'm going to end the turn though. I don't think I've missed anything. So that was turn 22, and find out what happens in, well, I guess in a second from your perspective. But, you know, Whatever. Hello. Research in conjuration was completed. Larissa searched Benefi for magic sites, but none was found. And there was a battle in Benefi. So let's check that out, shall we? So, Gath did what I didn't really want him to do, which is he moved everything off the fort he was sieging. I think it was Aganor, plus the Amazons. So this is pretty much everything he had in the local area, all attacked Benefi at the same time, into my army, plus the 35 province defense. My Sibyls do not cast Light of the Northern Star or anything like that, so we don't spam Stellar Cascades, we just do the Phantasmal Warrior spam. The Sibyls cast Stellar Cascades though. This is going to be a long fight, let's put it on turbo. So everything rolls forward. It's the province defense taking the brunt of the losses for me at the moment. Elephants roll in. He set his casters up to spam Sleep Cloud, which is one of those classic spells for dealing with elephants, but his giants chew up my elephants quite well, to be honest. You can see them all dying there now. We have a lot of ranged firepower though, which I suppose is unusual for Arcoscephale because they don't actually have any ranged units, it's just that we've been massing longbows and stuff like that in random forts. Look at all those Phantasmal Warriors. And Gath routes. Gath did not even manage to get through our front lines, and our front lines were all province defense, so that's pretty nice for us. I always feel like when the priests leave the battlefield that the bless should wear off, you know? Anyway, so that was the battle in Benefi. How did we do? Well, Gath threw 160 units at us and lost 127 of them, including 14 giants and 43 zealots. And we lost 37 units. But we did lose 3 crystal sorceresses. Did you see how we lost them? Were you paying close attention? Unfortunately, when the crystal sorceresses go off script, some of them cast Starfires, which is a single target astral damage spell, and the Blood Vengeance kills them, which is really unfortunate. But not much we can do about it, because you know mages are going to go off script and they're going to do stuff like that. It's the sort of awkwardness about fighting into a Bloodbless. But other than that, that was quite a convincing win, I think. We didn't kill any of his mages except for this random Jade Priestess, but it doesn't really count, does it? But we killed all of his sacreds, almost. So I'll take that as a fantastic result. Also, you can see we've scouted up. It looks like Patala has taken this ocean, and he's filling it with temples. So that's gonna be annoying because we have no units that can get underwater, but he has all his Naga who can get underwater. So he's gonna be difficult to uproot if we ever actually crack open his territory. So that was Benefi. You can see that Gath's handful of remaining troops have been scattered to the winds. There's a couple of zealots here, a few Gibors there, and a couple more still on Aganor. But other than that, good result, I think. Battle in Foundshire, this was other Arco breaking out of his cap. So he's up to 3 provinces plus a siege fort. Although, is that... oh, that's not siege anymore, is it? No, okay, so that fort now belongs to Gath, I guess? Alright, so we'll have to take that back. I didn't realise that. I thought that was still Arco's fort, and oh well. Battle in Dardania. This was Patala attacking into Man. Undefended province. So not much to see really, but you can see this is a province adjacent to Man's cap. His big stack of units here did not attack Forest of Springs, but And you might also notice that at the end of the last turn I did in fact move every mage out of Forest of Springs. I moved them all to here. But I'll talk about that in a second. Battling Marshlands, this was Man taking a province back from Jomon. I think... Was Jomon there last turn? Yeah, that... Okay. But I just got a bit nervous then, because since Man has taken... Man's got a new player now. I wonder if he realises that these are two different players here. This is Shinuyama and Jomon. I wonder if he's like... I wonder if he thinks that this is all Jomon. Maybe I should mention that to him next time I see him. And a battle in the White Waste. We took this province back from the villains. It's not very interesting. It's just it's elephants walking over human troops. It's the result of that was a foregone conclusion. So we got back this province with the 2 Earth Gems and 1 Astral Pearl per turn, which is very nice. Unexpected event in White Waste. So this province we just took back was attacked by a vampire count. And unexpected event in the Forest of Springs. A few gems have been found in the split trunk of an oak. Worldwide event. Alteration rituals are still cheaper. And then there was the battle in the White Waste versus the vampires. I won't watch that one either. It's the same sort of thing. We did lose 1 elephant, but other than that, it's a vampire and some human troops. And 9 battle afflictions were cured over in Benefi, obviously. Okay, so that was a good turn. We kind of smashed Gath. So let's take this fort back, shall we? Before we get to that though, let's talk about this. So, yeah, at the end of the last turn I got a bit frightened of this giant stack. I thought, let's move everything off Forest of Springs. So all the mages went to Forest of Falling Leaves. I'm going to try and build up some defense in Forest of Springs over the next few turns. So, recruiting lots of Jaguars here. I'm recruiting a ton of Ichthyids here. These are the cheap, crappy Ichthyids, but they do have nets. And all I want them to do really is defend a choke point in a fort if we get sieged, so I'm not too concerned about how good they are. Might also try attacking into the lake here as well. And in Semyok, of course, we're recruiting the longbows. So when we've done recruitment in those 3 provinces, we'll just keep moving troops to Forest of Springs until there's, about 100, 200 troops there. And then we'll start moving all the mages back, and the mages can start summoning Vine Men and ogres and stuff like that every turn. So we'll make sure that the Forest of Springs has enough troops in it to survive a siege. But it will take a couple of turns. So hopefully Patala stays away from us for a couple of turns and keeps attacking Man. Yeah, so in general I think these 3 fortresses will start recruiting troops to defend Forest of Springs. And these 3 fortresses will start recruiting troops to defend Benefi, Swamp Passage, and send out another army to attack Gath. So White Forest isn't doing any recruitment at the moment, but in Arco I'm recruiting a few more Phalangites, and the Sybil of course. And in Swamp Passage I'm recruiting what I can. There's like no resources in this province unfortunately, but recruiting a few little bits and pieces. The troops who just took White Waste are heading back, and a couple of troops that were already in White Forest, again just a few Phalangites, are heading to Arco. So we'll have all these troops there next turn, plus the Phalangites we're recruiting. I'm moving a commander into Azimar to pick up the Amazons. So then we'll have, about 30 Phalangites and about 25 Amazons moving to Swamp Passage, where there's already this stuff, plus what we're recruiting. So that'll take the troop total up to about 70, 80 over the next few turns. And that'll be plenty to defend, I think. And then we can think about rolling out a second army towards Gath. But at the meantime, yeah. I think the goal at the moment is to defend those 3 provinces. Forest of Springs need to be defended, Benefi needs to be defended, and Swamp Passage needs to be defended. So they're like they're the main targets at the moment. A couple of Crystal Sorceresses retreated during the last battle. These are all the guys who started spamming Starfires and took self-damage. So those guys will be moving to Benefi next turn. And they'll help defend. There is of course still 30 province defense here, so if we do get attacked, there'll be 30 province defense and some Crystal Sorks. And the big stack is attacking Aganor now. So we'll siege this. Very similar setup. As you can see, the troops are laid out fairly similar way. You've got all the archers in the back, you've got casters in the middle, and you've got lines of troops in the front. Scripting is much the same, except now we'll do Phantasmal Warrior for 2 turns, and then we'll spam Stellar Cascades. The Sibyls are casting Light of the Northern Star, and the other Sibyl is just spamming Stellar Cascades. So we'll have lots of Cascade spam. And we do still have quite a lot of troops as well. So we'll start sieging Agonor next turn, and hopefully we can get that fort cracked quickly, and give it back to other Arco. But, yep, that's the plan. Research currently is now in Evocation. We'll get up to 6 so that we can cast Mind Hunt. But once we have Mind Hunt, we also need Soul Slay, which means we'll have to do some research in Thaumaturgy afterwards, up to 5 for Soul Slay, which, as you can see, does 999 damage, but magic resistance negates. And that's the end of the turn, so quite a quick turn actually. Our income has recovered quite well, because a couple of turns ago it was down to like 1600, and now it's 2267, so pretty nice. I'll try and get temples in these forts over the next few turns. Since Patala is spamming forts here, I don't want a wave of piety to start rolling towards us. Alright, any turn. Oh god, I hate when the server stalls like this. Alright, well I give it a couple of seconds and then I'll kill Dominions and then have to log in again and see if it's actually submitted. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you next turn. Okay, hello, welcome back. Another throne was claimed by the same team. So, thrones. They now have the Throne of Life and the Throne of Silver. Spreads Dominion 2, brings 100 gold per turn, and enables recruitment of Adept of the Silver Order. I have not looked up what those mages are, but I'm sure they're very good. Because they usually are. We searched for sites, didn't find any, except we found this really, really good site. Black Rose Tower. So this produces 1 Death Gem and 1 Nature Gem per turn, which in and of itself would have been great, but it also enables the recruitment of the Black Rose Sorceress. Check out this lady. Death 1, Nature 2, Blood 1, with a 100% pick of Death, Nature, Blood. I've never played a Blood Nation, and I don't know how to do Blood, but even so, I might try it out. These mages are extremely expensive, and they are slow to recruit, so it seems like kind of a waste to have them blood hunting, but you gotta start somewhere, right? So let's try blood hunting with one of these guys, and try and build up some slaves, and empower some people, and do some blood stuff, maybe. But yeah, these sorceresses is amazing. The 3 paths that I don't have access to on, as late age Arcoscephale are Blood and Death, and I mean, my Sibyls get a small chance of 1 death, I think. Let's just check that out. Yeah, Sibyls get 1 death. Possibly 2, if you're very lucky. But, yeah. So, to get a caster that has all 3 paths that I don't naturally have is pretty amazing. And they seem really, really good. So we'll start recruiting those guys when we can. They're very expensive, though. And then maybe we'll start... We've got lots of high pop provinces, so we can try blood hunting them, right? I really don't know how it works or how you do blood, but I think you just hunt provinces, you get slaves, and then you empower more blood mages, and then you keep blood hunting, and then you cast blood spells, right? That seems straightforward enough. What we don't have is any kind of easy access to patrollers, though. My pretender could cast Call of the Winds, but that's about it. Battles! 2 battles between Jomon and other Arco. This was 2 giant stacks of Germany's troops. As you can see, still loads of Sacreds. And the other army is this guy. Yep, still loads of Sacreds. They took these 2 provinces. So the gains that Arco just made were lost, unfortunately. Arco looks like he pulled his troops back into his cap though, so he didn't lose any fights or anything. He just lost the provinces. Also a battle in Pavonia. This was Man taking a province from Jomon. Lots of troops. And some casters. What's interesting is that Jomon has no casters with his squad, really. He's got priests, who have a few paths. But they're just blessing, you know, he needs loads of priests to bless all these troops. Yeah, no actual mages. Battle in Ligria, Patala taking a province from Man, same for Mir. The giant stack of troops he had around here is not sieging me, it's moving in towards Man's territory. Man has a lot of troops knocking around there. I think he might be okay. Once I've got an army in Forest of Springs, I'll start taking these provinces. I won't try to siege his cap or anything like that, I'll just try and be a nuisance, but for now we don't really have any troops over here. And finally a battle in Smacia. The handful of troops that Gath had that scattered are just being a nuisance, taking some of Man's provinces. I can't really help with that at the moment. And finally a battle in Aganor. I won't watch this because it was just the small number of troops that Gath had left, and we killed almost all of them. Unfortunately, what's really annoying is that the mage escapes with like 1 hit point. I guess I could have showed it just to show off Stellar Cascades, but I mean it's just a... Oh, there's a lot of province defense as well. I guess it's kind of interesting. Maybe I should have watched it. Oh well. But yeah, you can see we start casting Stellar Cascades in this fight. So you can see how effective it is. It's all those pink beams that are Stellar Cascades. And if I just check out some of the troops, I mean this guy's got 112 fatigue already. This guy's 128. These guys haven't been hit yet. What about some of the back guys? Alright, I'll wait till it gets cast again so I can see where it's hitting. Up here, 86 fatigue. 90 fatigue, 86 fatigue. 53, 62, 48. Compared to my troops, who have 6. So that's how much it's fatiguing them. And this is only half my casters, because a lot of them routed and died in the last fight. So once these troops fatigue out, they're just 99 fatigue, 165 fatigue, they just stand there. And we just walk over them. So it's not too difficult. This is the caster here. He's at 106 fatigue at the moment. He drops to 90 and then retreats, unfortunately. 8 hit points. 3 hit points. So frustrating. At least we gave him 2 afflictions. And he retreats. Yeah, so Stellar Cascades I think is pretty good. We need the rest of our casters though so that we can really spam it. Unexpected event in White Forest. People are being sacrificed in the woods. Might be just a rumour though. Minus 40 population. And started to destroy the gate of the fort in Aganor. And 9 battle afflictions were cured. Alright, so what's happening this time? Well, first of all, let's just address this giant grey arrow. That's my pretender. My pretender is a stealthy map move 4 flyer, so he can move quite far. He's moving from Sermiok to Aganor to help out there. I'll talk about that in a second though. In Forest of Springs, my priestess is Awakening Vineman, because why not? We're recruiting lots of troops here still. And we're up to 26 in the garrison. And all the Ichthyids from Forest of Falling Leaves, we stopped recruiting them, but we've got 40 of them. And they are also heading to Forest of Springs. In Sermiok we're recruiting the longbows as usual. In White Forest we're getting the new Black Rose Sorceresses. Recruitment there, pretty normal. They're just going to head to Forest of Springs and then we'll figure out what to do with them. Back home we're moving troops to Swamp Passage. So these are the troops that we're moving here, all the Phalangites and the Elephants. And in the garrison currently we have all of the Crystal Sorks and some more Phalangites. And this time we're just recruiting 1 elephant. Once all those troops are in Swamp Passage, this becomes another army. We can roll out all the casters, all the sorceresses, all the mystics, everything, and just head into Dead Forest. And then we can either cap some of these side provinces, or we can just join the siege in Aganor. Depends what looks like the best move to do next time. With that in mind, yeah, my pretender is heading to Aganor as well. Because Jomon has a lot of troops around here. And he has a lot of flying troops as well. And my pretender, of course, can cast Storm, which prevents flying. So I think that would be a very, very useful thing to have in this area. So he's heading to the front lines just to hang around stealthily, and if it looks like Jomon is moving towards us, he can be ready to cast Storm, preventing any of his flying units from flying, which will tip the scales in our favour slightly. Now with that in mind, I switched research a bit. I didn't know if this was the right thing to do or not, because the temptation is to rush towards Mind Hunt now, right? Mind Hunt is next level of Evo. It lets you do a ranged attack on an enemy commander. But before it's useful, you have to first research either Mind Burn or Soul Slay. So that would require another 5 levels of Thaumaturgy to get Soul Slay. Now this is kind of an instant kill ritual at that point, as long as there's no Astral Mage in the province. So that would be really, really useful, because if we look, like, our opponents are leading around troops with no mages, with the exception of this Nagaraja, who has no Astral. So we'd be able to Mind Hunt Patala's army and Jomon's army with impunity. But it would still take a few turns to get there. And of course I only have one caster that can actually cast it, the rest would need boosters. We don't even have an Astral 3 mage to cast it either. So instead of doing that immediately, I'm putting points into enchantment instead. If we get enchantment to 4, we can cast anti-magic, which would help with damage reflection from Blood Vengeance. And then if I go 1 level more, I can also cast Horde of Skeletons with my Pretender. So that seems like a more immediately useful bet. But I don't know if it's the right thing to do or not. But that's what I'm doing. I think it'd be more immediately useful to get enchantment, and then in a couple of turns we'll probably have like 600 or 700 research points per turn, and it should be quite easy to pick up Mind Hunt and then some construction afterwards. And I don't think my opponents are going to suddenly start rolling out loads of Astral Mages to protect them from Mind Hunt anytime soon, so that's where my research is at the moment. Still sieging the fort in Agonor. We'll see how quickly we can break this. Defense 250. Shouldn't take that long because it's empty. We've got quite a few troops. We've got like 200 troops, right? So hopefully we can break this quickly, and then we can think about rolling towards Jomon's armies at least. Because that might be the best thing we can do at the moment. Province events is all where it should be. So I am ending turn. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next turn for the end of the video. Hello, welcome to turn 25. Lots of messages. Okay, so research and enchantment, we got to level 3 instantly. It's quite nice. Not sure what that gives us, I haven't checked. My Pretender can cast some skeletons, and Seeking Arrow, I guess. That's always a nice spell, actually. Yeah, but next level we'll get anti-magic, which is what we really want. So we'll continue with that. I started casting Vine Men in the fortress near to Patala. I'll check. I've seen these guys before, but just in case you haven't, Vine Men are basically just trash, but they're very, very cheap. They just cost like a nature gem, and you get 2 of them. So we'll start pumping those out every turn with our priestesses. Sperkios was the victim of an assassination attempt. That's over here in the fort that I'm sieging. This was kind of annoying. So this is one of Jomon's assassins. As you can see, he is a ninja. Literally a one-armed ninja. And he assassinated my Phalangite commander, which is not good. Because they're cool. They can lead 3 squads of troops with +1 morale. And that guy was leading all of my longbows. So unfortunately we lost him. So my longbows are now in the arms of my regular commanders. Fortunately we had a lot of commanders, so losing a commander like that doesn't hurt us too much. It's just more of an annoyance than anything. But as you can see, all of my commanders here now have at least 2 troops on God Commander, so that if they are assassinated, hopefully at least one of those troops will be in the fight with them. So it makes the screen a total mess, but yeah, we just guard and commander with everybody. Battling Benefi, this is here. Gath just threw a few troops at us, but we had 30 province defense in that province, so they bounced right off. It's not a very interesting fight. He moved these troops into Binafi and lost. Battle in Wake Forest. This was Patala taking a province from Man. As you can see, Man lost 9 monks, which is not great. But yeah, Man has foreign recruit researchers or something, so he has stuff in some provinces just recruiting monks that do research for him. So that's a bit annoying. I'm not sure what happened here. It looks like Patala got some kind of event that took the province from him. Heavy cavalry and knights, that sounds nasty. Battle in Forest of Springs. This was our fort. So here, Patala just threw a scout at us. I guess to test the defences. I don't know. He might be looking to siege it next turn. He's still got large numbers of troops here. And finally a battle in Smacia. This was Man taking this from Gath, I think. Yep. So that's just his giant stack of troops. As you can see, 200 troops. Jomon has kind of retreated a bit. I'm not sure what they're doing. Unexpected event in Forest of Falling Leaves. So this is cool. Your servant has found a treasure. Unfortunately, it was guarded by a monster. So we've got 92 gold, a horned helmet, and a crystal shield. And I'll show off the crystal shield in a second, because that's really cool. But there was an assassination attempt on that guy. This one, yeah. So we got one of our mystics in this province. So this is the province that had that story event where they said investigate the site. So I guess that's what this is connected to. So my researchers can find stuff, but they get attacked by a Minotaur. So that's kind of interesting. I'm really shocked that my mystic won that fight. But yeah. Oops, wrong one. So that was this province here. Yeah, so there were signs of activity in the ancient ruin. We investigated it and we found an ancient treasure, but it was guarded by a Minotaur. And it looks like that story event is over now, because there's no book in this province. So that's nice, we got a nice little item. So what item was it? Well, I gave it to Egdad here. It's a crystal shield. And this shield automatically casts Power of the Spheres, which makes you more powerful in all magic paths. And that's really cool, because I needed one of my Astral 2 mages to cast Power of the Spheres. And now he doesn't have to. He already has all of the power of all the spheres. So that's really nice. Unexpected event in Latian. Just some Dominion loss. Lost some scouts. Lost a scout retreating into enemy territory. Started to destroy the fort, gate of the fort in Aganor. So we're going to be sieging this for a while. And that's it for messages. Alright. So what's happening this turn? Well, first of all, you can see my scouts are moving through Gath's territory here. Gath looks quite small and quite weak. I mean, he's got 30 giants in this province, and that's it. We have scouts in all these provinces, and I can't... Not up here, though. He might have some troops up here, but other than that, I can't see any troops for Gath. I can't even see a fort for him. So, the temptation is to knock over Aganor and just walk my army to Gath's cap, because what's he going to do? So we might try to do that. Yeah. So over here, I've got all the troops and some mages in Swamp Passage are moving to Dead Forest next turn. That's these guys. Lots of Phalangites, a couple of elephants, some archers, and lots of Astral 1 mages. So they'll take Dead Forest, and then they'll help siege Aganor if it still hasn't broken yet. The Crystal Sorks and Binafi are moving to Aganor to help with the siege, because it turns out we don't need them to defend. These units bounce right off the 30 province defense, so this area is safe now as far as I'm concerned. So they'll help out with the siege. And I've already showed off the army here. You can see everything is still pretty much the same. But we now have units on God Commander on all of our commanders, which is annoying, but gotta do what you gotta do. Down here, roads have been built in all these provinces now, so we have nice movement through here when we, as long as we have a map move to a unit. So, for instance, my priestess here is moving straight from Forest of Springs to Sirmiok, which is nice. But what's mainly happening here is that I'm defending Forest of Springs. So Patala threw a scout at us last turn. Usually when people throw scouts at things, it's because they want to test the defenses, right? And he's got big stacks of units here. So let's assume he's going to try and attack it next turn. Okay, to that end, I'm moving all of the mystics, well, a lot of the mystics from this province, a lot of the mystics from this province, and the mystics in this province are patrolling, and the troops are patrolling. So I hit Y. It's going to be all this in this province next turn. Army setup is like this because there's going to be 35 province defense in the middle, so I didn't think I needed units in the center. So I've just put my troops at the edges, and then the lines of mystics behind them. And it's pretty much the same scripting that we've been doing the last few turns. We have Egdad with his shield is going to cast Light of the Northern Star and then spam Stellar Cascades. If for some reason this doesn't happen correctly, because I'm relying on an item, and I've never used an item with an on-battle spell before, just in case it goes wrong, just so that I know how it works for future reference. I also have a backup mystic who is manually casting Power of the Spheres and then Light of the Northern Star. So that's just in case. That's just in case that's just in case Egdad can't cast it for some reason. If the shield doesn't work the way I think it works or something. I don't know why, but it's just extra insurance, right? But other than that, everybody else is just casting Stellar Cascades. And the troops are unscripted. They can do what they want. We've got the Jaguars in front and then the Ichthyids behind them. And the Ichthyids have nets, which are cool. Only range 4, unfortunately, but they'll stick people in nets if they get close enough to them. So all those units will be patrolling. So if anything attacks Forest of Springs next turn, they'll hit that entire army, plus the 35 province defense. So hopefully that'll be cool. Not much else to talk about, really. Recruitment is still very basic. I'm recruiting longbows here, a couple of Jaguar tribe warriors there. Still trying to recruit this Black Rose Sorceress. We'll have her next turn. No troops being recruited anywhere else. And we are building a temple in White Forest. And that's it. Research is 292, so we'll have Enchantment 4 next turn. I think we will go to Enchantment 5 before we switch again. And nothing else to talk about, really. Bandar Log stuck a fort right on our border, which is always a bad thing. Usually when people do that, it's as a staging off post. And I think our non-aggression pact has ended by now. So Bandar Log might be really stupid and attack us instead of Patala in the next few turns, which would be a greedy play. But you know, he could do it, and we'd have to think about defending on 3 fronts if that happens. Bogarus also has 2 forts here. I'm not as concerned about him though. Patala, we know that Patala is in this lake now, which is going to be really annoying, because I don't know how we're going to get him out. Gonna have to mass these Ichthyids, boy. Oh. And, God, Patala actually managed to, I wonder if he's over here as well. Oh shit, it's Goku. Yeah, I think things are going quite well for us though. Maybe not for our team in general, but for me certainly, things are okay. And hopefully Man can, Man has really shrunk, that's the only, he needs these 2 provinces back. Alright, okay, I'm ending turn. So that was turn 25, end of the video, and I will see you in the next video, which might be a while, because it seems like this game is now on 48-hour turns, and every player is still in it, so the turns usually take a while to tick over. So I started uploading the first video last week, and I still haven't got the second video up, because it's barely 5 turns of progress since then. So maybe it was a mistake uploading so early, but oh well. See you when I see you.